Hello everyone. So today I have a question from my Facebook club, Amelia's Dressage Club. If you're not a member yet, check out the link below and go to Facebook and be sure to join the club. We have like an amazing community of supportive and positive riders where you can ask questions and get help and help others, so it's really fun. But anyways, a girl named Lauren asked a question about how she can keep her ankles still when she rides, and I definitely have a lot of empathy for her because I have the same problem. I feel like my lower leg is not still enough and it flops around a lot. So there were a lot of good suggestions and I'm going to give you a few today. So your ankles should move some when you ride because your ankles are a shock absorber. So your ankles should have some natural movement as they absorb the motion of the horse so that your seat and your hips and everything can take up that shock as well. If you're like super braced and locked up in your ankles, you're not going to be able to use your leg properly. So you should have some motion in your ankles, just not excessive motion. Now, the second thing to consider is that if you have a long leg, like I do, and especially on a smaller horse like this where your leg hangs below the horse, it's going to be a lot more likely that your ankles are going to move, as opposed to if you're super short and your ankles are like here on the side of the horse, they're not really going to be able to move around so much. So ankles moving is definitely a function of when you have a little bit of a smaller horse and a longer leg, like the situation here. But also watch a lot of the top riders. Like if you watch Stefan Peters, he has a lot of motion in his ankles and in his lower leg, so it's not necessarily a bad thing. So let me get started here with the jock, and we're just going to start off in the posting trot. And so what's the difference between good motion and bad motion in your ankles? If I am, let me get him going. So if I feel like I have to kick him every step, so if I'm going kick, 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 then that's what I would consider to be bad motion. Like this is definitely too much because you see how I'm really like kicking him every step to try to get him going. So if your horse is behind the leg and you're kicking every step, then that's definitely not good motion. Okay, so what is a reasonable amount of motion is that as I'm riding the trot here, you'll notice there is a little bit of a bob in my ankle as I'm riding the trot. But it's important that I don't have my spur in him. So as long as you're not spurring your horse every stride, but there's a little bit of bob in your ankles, that's okay. Like here, see there's a little bit of bob in my ankles because I'm absorbing the motion. If I keep my ankle stiff, like it locks my hips and my horse stops. Let me try and demonstrate that again. So if I don't let there be any motion in my ankles, it locks up my hips. Like if I just try and really hold my legs perfectly still and I'm not letting my ankles move, it makes my seat stiff. So there is some natural motion that you need to have in your ankles, and that's okay, as long as your horse is in front of the leg. And same thing at the canter. So when I'm cantering my horse and my hips are swinging from back to front, you'll notice that my heel's going down, 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 down. And if I need to kick my horse or give him a little activation from my leg, I'll use my leg and then I'll push my heel back down again. Good boy. Good boy. So hopefully that helps. Another thing though, that if you want to improve your leg position that I'm really aware of is that I try to think about, having a little pressure in my calf, keeping my leg a little bit near and making sure that I don't feel my leg swinging back and forth. So that's a kind of motion that you don't want. You don't want your leg to be swinging back and forth. that's a bad kind of motion. And if I feel like that's happening, then I will try to like close my calf and keep my lower leg a little more still. So let me show you what I mean by that. It happens a lot in the canter. That's where I find, like, a lot of times, like with my inside leg, like it's really easy to just kind of let the motion of your canter and your leg starts going like that. So if that's the case, then you need to kind of think about wrapping your legs around your horse, putting your calf a little bit more steady, and just, I try to feel like underneath my boot and make sure that I don't feel like my calf is swinging around. So like now it's a little bit more still. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. So that's my 2 cents on ankles. Let me know if this helps you guys. You know, like I said, you should have some motion in your ankles because they are a shock absorber, just like all of the hinges in your legs need to move. So like your hips need to move a little, your knees need to be able to move, your ankles need to be able to move, your feet need to be able to move. But you don't want to have excessive motion where you feel like you're just banging your ankles against the horse. So that's kind of the difference. And like I said, it's easier to keep your legs still if you're a little shorter, or if your horse is bigger. Like on some of my other horses, like my young horse Kensington, he has a much bigger body, and so he takes up my leg. And with him, it's a lot easier for my ankles to stay still. So hopefully this helps. Be sure to join our Facebook group if you have any other questions that you want to ask. And I do try to select some questions from there and then make a video. So be sure to like my channel, give me a thumbs up, and share my videos with your friends. It really helps me out. And I hope you enjoyed this one. The end.